Anna knocks on several doors, hoping to convince other apartment dwellers to take part in the festivities. She clears her throat, puts on the widest smile she can muster, and tries her best to happily speak to whomever she meets.
I know it's sudden, but maybe you can consider coming to Throoth's party.
Like so many doors before it, this one slams in Anna's face too. Defeated, the young goddess makes her way down the hall. As she walks, she takes note of things she was too excited to notice earlier. The broken windows, the stained walls, the tears in the carpeting. Signs that this place lacks the permanency of a home. This is only temporary for all who live there. No one cares enough for upkeep, and there isn't anyone managing it. Everyone had merely moved into the one standing structure that looked like it could hold them. Anna stops by one of the many dirty broken windows. She peers out beyond the cracked glass and cobwebs to see the dead world just outside, drowning in sand and ash.
He did all this.
Anna wonders aloud, a question she ponders on only when an impossible-to-describe emptiness grows in the pit of her stomach. It only happens when she's completely alone, which admittedly isn't often. She tries to assuage the dreadful feeling by being around people as much as possible, but there are times like now when there just isn't anyone to talk to. That's why she wants Throoth back. Throoth never talks much, but that's okay, because even in her introversion, Throoth never rejects Anna. Anna can spend as much time as she likes in Throoth's company. Of all the people Anna knows, it always feels like Throoth wants her around. In a hesitant pan, her eyes scan the debris of long-gone architecture that surrounds their apartment. She doesn't look for anything in particular. Her eyes just wander from one rusted car to another. Then she sees it coming up slow, just beyond two large utility poles struggling to stay standing. A series of carriages approach the apartment, a caravan led by a chariot pulled by two large goats. Anna sees her clearly, even from up there. Throoth is riding front and center in that chariot. Her beautiful azure hair is tied into two long, perfect braids that whip freely behind her. Her crimson eyes narrow coolly as she expertly navigates through the difficult terrain. The ends of Anna's lips twitch and slowly fight their way up her cheeks, forming the largest smile she'd had all day.
Whoa! Easy, Tan Grisnir. Tan Joster.
Throoth says as she pulls back on both reins. Even from a few floors up, Anna can hear Throoth's voice as still calm as a setting sun. Anna doesn't wait around any longer to see her friend pull up in front of the apartment. All of a sudden, she's running down the hallway. She spins and whips around several corners in increasingly dramatic sharp turns. After running for several minutes, she reaches Jesus' door, stopped by the same obstruction as always, a large boulder covering his door. Anna spits in both hands and tightens her grip around the stone. It got easier with every attempt, so by now Anna could move it with much less effort than one would expect from a girl her size. Didn't even need to summon any divine power to do so. Anna opens Jesus' door and cries as she enters.
Jay, it's too late. Throoth's here already and I don't have anything ready.
Anna's words come to an abrupt end when her eyes fall on the sight before her. Jesus sits on the couch, sandwiched suggestively between Kebushé and Athena. Athena's arms drape over his shoulders, while his head rests against her generous bust. And Kebushé crawls on top of him. All three look up at Anna, each with increasingly different looks of surprise, ranging from Jesus' shock and embarrassment to complete apathy on Kebushé's part.
All right, I know how this looks, Annie, but if you give me just a minute, I can explain everything.
Jesus stammers as he pushes himself out of Athena's grasp.
It isn't what it looks like.
What it looks like is Kebushé sprawled over the couch arm with her head softly nuzzling Jesus' crotch. It looks like Jesus tries to crawl away, but his attempt lands a hand on one of Athena's thighs. A deep mewl erupts from Athena, and she turns her deep, beet red face away.
Doing this in front of Anna? And here I thought you were supposed to be the one without sin. You really shouldn't take advantage of us virgin goddesses.
It doesn't help that one of Athena's arms wrap around Jesus, forcing him back onto her even more. So technically, it is exactly what it looks like. This isn't the first time Anna has seen something like this. There are occasions, many in fact, where it seems like the other girls are vying for Jesus' attention. Athena especially. It usually presents itself in the form of flirting in awkward moments like this, but Jesus often insists it isn't what it looks like. A long time ago, such a sight would have troubled Anna, made her feel like she could lose Jesus to someone else. But he isn't hers, so why should that matter? Thankfully, Throoth was always around to comfort Anna when feelings of inadequacy rolled in. Anna sniffles sadly. Athena and Kebushé crowd Anna in a matter of seconds, leaving Jesus to awkwardly fall off the couch.
Oh no, sweetie, don't cry.
Athena coos, wiping Anna's tears away as soon as they appear.
I was merely reacting to Jesus' body language. It looked like he was making advances on me. I assure you I had no intention of going any further without marrying him first. I take being a virgin goddess very seriously.
Jesus clarifies.
My intentions are a complete misunderstanding and frankly a fabrication. Aren't you supposed to be a genius? How can you mistake a guy falling over for flirting? And is that really how you return your feelings?
Cabochet nods softly and assures.
I wanted to sleep. His lap looked very comfortable. It seemed inviting today. In a way, he was asking for it.
Jesus sits up on the couch, points a finger at the girls and asserts.
That doesn't mean you can do that, Keb. You can't just assume you have my consent because we're friends.
Cabochet flatly responds.
Understood. I must seek consent before invading the crotches of others. I will try to remember that.
Anna truly appreciates her friends trying to cheer her up, but the sight of Jesus and the girls isn't what's bothering her.
No, it isn't that.
She insists, stepping away.
It's because Throoth is back.
Anna backs into something. She looks up and around and squeaks when she catches sight of who she bumped into. Warmth rises in Anna's cheeks.
So, you all gathered here to welcome me home?
Throoth inquires in a deadpan manner. Anna's soft sapphire hues meet Thruth's cool crimson. Quickly, Anna steps out from underneath Throoth and timidly takes a place between Athena and Cabochet. Slowly, Throoth glances down at Anna. She tilts her head, and those beautiful braids follow. Anna buries her face in Athena's white dress.
I'm sorry. Am I annoying? Is this annoying?
She asks in such a quiet squeak she's sure only Athena could hear.
Of course this is Anna's doing. Do you really think any of us are this thoughtful?
Athena's charming voice is almost like a song to Anna.
I'm far too busy with my search to orchestrate this. Something like this is perfect for Anna.
Anna takes occasional peeks out from behind Athena. She sees Cabochet and passively steps forward where she looks to Throoth, then to Anna, then back to Throoth once more. She nods. Pushing himself off the couch, Jesus chimes in.
Yup, she got us all up extra early just so we could welcome Throoth, daughter of Thor, Iser Princess herself, home.
He pauses and briefly looks back at Anna, startling her and driving her face into Athena's back.
She's a very thoughtful girl. We shouldn't take her for granted.
Anna pulls her face away from Athena's back and looks up at Throoth. As always, Thruth's expression is stoic. To most, it comes off as cold or aloof, but Anna knows to watch for subtle twitches in her face and changes in body language. Right now, despite that cold stare, Thruth's lips quiver so she seems happy.
Good job.
Throoth deadpans. Suddenly, she steps forward and embraces Anna. Anna's cheeks flush again, but she smiles, happily nuzzling into Throoth and returning the hug.
I know it isn't much, but I'm glad you like it. I just wanted to show you how much we all missed you while you were gone, Throoth. I've been counting down the days till your return.
That's weird.
Throoth says softly. The ends of her lips briefly twitch, and the subtlest blink and you'll miss it smile appears on her face.
That was a joke. Was it funny?
Anna tries to deflect and save the moment. Throoth simply shakes her head. Anna prostrates herself on the bare floor of Jesus' small apartment.
Send help. I've died of embarrassment.
Alas, she was so young. She will truly be missed.
Athena says with a dramatic flick of her wrist. Cabochet lays out on the ground beside Anna. She stares into the younger goddess's eyes.
Really? You can die from embarrassment? I'm retreating into my mind. I'll go to my happy place. That way no one can judge me.
Anna whines and rolls around on the floor for several seconds. She watches as Throoth crouches down over her. Throoth takes one of her braids and gently brushes it against Anna's nose, tickling it.
Before you do, mind helping me? I've got luggage in the chariots downstairs, and I spent a lot of my trips telling my goats all about you. They're neat. My dad left them for me.
Throoth pauses momentarily before explaining.
They can be killed and eaten every night, because Mjolnir somehow has the power to revive them. It's really weird, but super helpful on a long journey. They are both transportation and nourishment.
Anna sits up.
Oh, you ate them every night? That sounds so mean.
Throoth helps Anna up.
No, they like it.
Is that supposed to be a joke?
Jesus questions while stepping towards the two. Throoth narrows her eyes at Jesus, stopping him in his tracks. Athena walks over and with a raised eyebrow prods at Jesus' chest.
I suppose you consider yourself a comedic expert as well. There isn't anything the Prince of Princes Jesus Christ can't do, right? Well, I'd have to see it to believe it. I can't recall the last time you said anything the least bit clever.
Jesus hesitates, then snickers.
Not in front of Annie. I still have a pretty flawless reputation with her.
Cabochet is still laying on the ground as she flatly asks about different things.
You have a reputation? What crimes did you commit? Have you ever killed someone with embarrassment?
Seems like she's just trying to keep up with everyone's conversation. Throoth jokingly uses both of her braids to dust Anna off. It must be the sight to see the bubbly Anna running around the room with Throoth stoically chasing after her. Once Anna is led to the door, she yields.
Fine, I'll go get your things, but save all the cool stories for when I get back.
No promises.
Throoth says calmly before winking at Anna.
No hurry. The sooner you go, the sooner you get back.
Anna leaves the room with a bright smile and a tingle in her chest. She is just happy Throoth is happy, even with such a small get-together. As Anna makes her way down the hall, the laughing voices from the room become more and more distant. The last things she can still make out is Jesus and Athena, loudest of the bunch, asking about the cold, bridges, rainbows, dwarves, and construction. That seems interesting, Anna thinks to herself. That isn't the only thought to come to Anna's mind. She briefly wonders why Throoth chose to show up in Jesus' apartment, as opposed to any other. As quickly as the thought comes to mind, it's gone. Anna figures Throoth knew the most probable place to find them would be Jesus' apartment. Slowly, Anna makes her trek down the long hallway with Throoth's things in tow. It isn't long before she can hear the voices of her friends again. They reach her, almost beckoning her and telling her not to give up. The closer she gets, the clearer the voices become. Anna hears Athena.
So you two will be getting married. I honestly never saw this coming. But I guess it's fitting that someone with your kind of vision did. If the benefits you're speaking of really do come true, then you have my support.
Anna's steps become heavy, weighed down by something she can't describe.
You and I could never get married.
Anna hears Cabochet.
Death has already done us apart, unfortunately.
Have you found time to tell her?
Anna hears Throoth's voice, and she comes to a stop. Anna stands by, patiently awaiting yet dreading Jesus' response.
I'm sorry.
She hears his voice and tenses up.
I want to tell her, but I'm still kind of unsure, you know? Like, I don't know what's going to happen to her if I become king. I won't be able to take care of her. Not directly, at least. If she ever falls into the wrong hands, well...
Anna trudges to the door, listening the entire time she walks.
We'll continue taking care of her, protecting her. This won't change anything. Anna is our friend. As king and queen, we'll give her a better life than she would have had here in Midgard, and definitely a way better life than she'd have in hell.
Throoth's voice is resolute, inspiring even, but Anna still feels uneasy.
Together, we're going to make a difference. Are you doubting my vision? Especially after everything that has happened?
No, it isn't that.
Jesus responds. His voice seems so sad.
You're right. If you saw it, then it's gotta be true. Us being together like this is gonna be the best thing for the Nine Realms.
Anna stops in the doorway just in time to watch Throoth and Jesus embrace one another.
Thank you for the opportunity. My sight will steer us towards the most prosperous kind of future. One where I can preserve Anna's smile for all time.
The loud sound of metal clanging against the ground catches the attention of those before Anna. Athena, Jesus, and Throoth look up, presumably startled by the noise. Cabochet doesn't look over until several seconds later.
Anna.
Anna feels her tiny little fingers kneading at her skirt. She tries to smile, but is sure her face looks really dumb because of how much it wants to frown. She wants to look at her friends, but couldn't without her heart racing really fast. In the end, she ends up looking beyond them, out the window into their destroyed world again.
I'm happy for you. Really. Let me help in any way I can.
As soon as those words pass Anna's lips, she turns away.
Excuse me.
She hurries off down the hall. Anna runs as fast as her little legs will take her. Her gaze can't stay up and melts to the ground, watching as that terrible, patchy floor rushes by. As she turns, her eyes flit to those cracked windows, where outside the dark begins to eat the sky's light. She shakes her head and grits her teeth. In one motion, she leaps and transforms from a tiny girl into a crow. That bird flies faster than she's able to run. She flies up the stairs and doesn't turn back until she reaches her room. Her hand falls on the doorknob and she stops long enough to choke back tears. Worst part is, she can't tell why she's crying. Shouldn't she be happier? Her two favorite people are going to be together, and from the sound of it, they are going to do a lot of great for the dead world outside. Anna trusts Throoth and her vision more than anyone, so why did it make her feel this way all of a sudden? Trembling, her hand meets the doorknob. Through sniffles, Anna talks to herself.
I'm not envious or anything. No, I'm happy Throoth is back, and I'm happy for the two of them. They're my best friends, so I am definitely okay with all this. Even so, it still stinks.
Finally, Anna finds the strength to turn the knob and enter her apartment. Anna's eyes widen when she sees that her apartment is a complete wreck. Tables are flipped over, pillows and blankets are whipped about, and her clothing is scattered or in shreds. Worst of all, she can clearly see her fridge from here. It had been left open and rummaged through. Her gaze travels from her fridge over to the nearest window, where she finds the culprit. With a foot propped on the windowsill and hands tied around a pillowcase, presumably filled with the food, the intruder rears back and sees Anna. The lithe figure alone suggests that she's a girl of similar age and build to Anna. She wears a mask that's fashioned to look like a crow or maybe a raven. There are Gaelic red markings etched throughout the black, feathered mask. Dark plumage feeds from the back of the mask into a fur cloak hood that rides down her back.
A changeling? You managed to copy me without even getting a look at my face? Impressive, but you got the hair all wrong.
One of her grubby little hands push up on the finely pointed beak, forcing the mask back and over her head. Two pairs of blue eyes meet, differently only in hue. Her hair is a deeper shade of red and is a mess when compared to Anna's puffy ponytail.
Having to do the next part to myself is gonna be strange.
With a fang bared, the other Anna grins and teases.
Though I've heard an out-of-body experience can be good for ya. So, you caught me. Now we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Her deadly blue eyes narrow and flash with malevolent intent.
Please say you want to do this the hard way.
At first, Anna can't find the words, but after taking a step into her apartment and really looking at the damages done, she points.
I'm not a mimic, you copycat. Criminal, you haven't just stolen my food, which I'd be happy to share if you just asked. You've also stolen my face.
The other girl climbs down from the windowsill. As she steps into the light, the resemblance becomes even more apparent, with the biggest dissimilarity being a nearly unnoticeable difference in height. She steps toward Anna, who finds herself inching towards the girl as well. That's weird. Anna is suspicious of her, but feels the need to get closer. She wants to touch her. The girl drops the sack of goodies at her side and circles Anna, prodding at her as she does so. Despite being a random intruder, Anna doesn't seem as worried anymore, especially in lieu of recent events. Maybe the fact that the girl looks like her eases her somehow. With the very little touches from her other self, Anna lets out the tiniest little sigh, and with those sighs come that terrible feeling linked to the prior event. Just being around this girl, despite the circumstances, is calming. The emptiness that Anna felt earlier when she was all alone, at this moment she feels the exact opposite.
So this is what you really look like, huh? I was sure you were a doppelganger, maybe a changeling or mimic or something, but you're the real deal, another me.
The other Anna starts to smirk, baring those tiny fangs of hers yet again.
Another me.
Anna repeats almost wishfully.
You can feel it too, can't ya? It's like we're drawn to one another. I guess it wasn't a coincidence coming to this apartment. I knew something was drawing me in.
The other Anna claps.
So, I might as well ask since I'm here, and you're another me, so you'll be more than willing to cooperate.
She looks to the upturned table and walks over to it. She flips it over, then climbs on top of it. Black plumage sways about the girl's collar as she moves. She crosses her arms and looks down at Anna with a haughty smirk.
You will swear your fealty to me, Morgan, the Phantom Queen!
Anna's eyes widen, her lips part, and she feels a foreboding sense in the pit of her stomach.
But I'm Morgan. I'm the Phantom Queen.
Silence milks along between the girls.
Shit, no way. You kidding me?
The other Morrigan, startled, nearly falls off the coffee table. She looks around the room in a panic. She hops down, grabs the pillowcase of stolen goodies, and tries for the window. Surprisingly, they're equally matched in strength.
There's no way you're the real deal. You're just a lookalike poser.
By now, Anna's face is brushing up against the black feathers around her other self's collar. The texture and color of the feathers is a perfect match for the ones that made up her skirt. Those feathers start ruffling, tickling Anna's cheeks.
Hey, stop struggling. Talk to me for a second. What do you mean, lookalike? You said you felt it too, didn't you? Our closeness. I am Morgan. Jesus told me never to use that name, so I don't. He says it makes people really sad. Why would anyone want to use a name that upsets other people? You really can't be the Phantom Queen. Just listen to the way you talk.
The little girl claws at Anna's head. Eventually, she resorts to biting Anna's wrist. Anna yelps, and then on instinct alone, bites the little girl's shoulder, causing her to let out a similar-sounding yelp. The little girl pants before continuing.
You're an idiot, you know that? The world is ripe for picking. Everyone thinks the Phantom Queen is dead, but more importantly, everyone fears her. Why? Why would people be afraid of me?
Jesus had never given her a reason. Somehow she feels she could find the truth in this familiar stranger. Anna's grip on the girl loosens, giving her just the freedom she needs to wiggle out completely. Anna is stunned, floored by the news that someone of her namesake was responsible for the world that surrounded her. Was she really involved in such a thing? Or did she just share her name with a complete monster? Is that monster who haunts her dreams the Phantom Queen? Is that her?
Annie, we need to talk.
Anna hears Jesus' voice.
There's so much I need to tell you.
The door opens just as she looks over at it. She sees Jesus enter her room. She's sure it's the look in her eyes that silence him. Anna locks eyes with him, but not for long as his eyes quickly look away and to the little girl on the windowsill. Anna sees something in Jesus' eyes that she thought she never would. Certainty.
Jesus?
Annie?
What the hell is going on? Who the hell are you? Who the hell is he?
The little girl questions loudly, but at this moment Anna can't even think about answering because she herself doesn't know. Anna's wide, confused eyes watch Jesus for some time and search him for answers. Her attention only falters for a moment when the wall to Jesus' side begins to ripple. Such an impossible sight brings noticeable fear to Anna's face. She points and begins to speak when that ripple becomes a tear. Through that tear she sees stardust. Dark, murky-looking water oozes from the crease, staining the floor in a transparent black sludge. The little girl's body language changes. She climbs down from the window and takes a defensive stance in front of Anna. Her plumage is standing on end when Anna notices the act but wonders why. From the tear in reality climbs a woman made of white. With cold eyes, she casts her scythe on Jesus. A scythe appears between her skeletal fingers. A horrible, impossibly long scythe outstretches and looms over Jesus. One long skeletal finger reaches up from beneath the woman's white robes and presses against her pursed pale lips. Jesus doesn't seem to notice.
Shh. Children are to be seen, not heard.
The woman's voice is awful, cold, dead, and crawls from her mouth like something reaching out of a grave. Anna wants to scream, but her voice can't reach him. In fact, in this being's presence, she can't even hear herself. It's clear from the little girl at her side's inaudible protests that she can't be heard either. Jesus taught her things about magic, and she figures that this must be some sort of silencing spell. Even so, Anna still attempts to get Jesus' attention and motions for him to turn around. When Jesus doesn't immediately look away, Anna steps forward, pushing the little girl aside, and tries to lunge toward him. In one simple, clean, careless motion, the woman's scythe pierces his chest. Red fills the air, but not a bit of it touches the chilling white nor stains her perfect blade. The first sound to pierce the magical silence is a soft gasp passing Jesus' lips. The woman of white sinks back into her little ripple as though she were never there to begin with. Red soaks through his white robes and match his sash. Jesus reaches up, touches the red, then pulls his hand back to examine his bloodied fingers. His glance slowly, painfully slowly, eases in Anna's direction whilst he falls to his knees. Before he can fall any further, Anna is there to catch him. Words are bubbling over in her chest. A froth of feeling is thick in her throat. There's bile and sadness and love and all these unsaid things that want to erupt forth in that moment, but something else beats them down. Something undeniable. Some undeniable, unexplainable feeling that says this can't be it, that this can't happen. Blood eagerly escapes the side of his lips and drips down along his twitching chin.
What the hell?
The little girl screams at the event before them. Sound returns to the room the moment that woman in white disappears. Anna feels a small hand grip her arm. Like dead weight, Anna doesn't move. She sits there beside Jesus, cradling him.
Annie.
Despite the blood filling his mouth and life leaving his form, Jesus musters a word. Shaking, one of his hands reach up towards her, and she's quick to grab a hold of it. She should tell him not to speak. That's what you say to someone in this moment, right? Where's Athena? Where's Cabochet? Where's Throoth? Didn't she know this was going to happen? Didn't she see this coming? Did she let it happen? Why would she let Jesus... What do you say to someone who's dying? How do you keep them from dying? What should she do?
Good.
That last word hit Anna, and she gives up. Anna can't scream. Her eyes remain fixated on Jesus's. Her tearful gaze gets lost in his dying hazel hues. Those eyes that were full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy that shined down on her everyday dim. He cries a little, and she cries a lot.
I once had a sweetheart. I loved him so well. I loved him far better than my tongue could tell. But he's gone, and he's left me in sorrow and tears. So adieu to you, sweetheart, since you are not here. Be good, my Annie, my young love did say. and the sunlight around him did sparkle and play, and he laid his hands on me. I felt he was near, but adieu to you, sweetheart, for you are not here. Once I had a sweetheart, and now I have none. He's gone, and he's left me in sorrow to mourn. Last night, in sweet slumber, I dreamed I did see my own darling sweetheart sat smiling by me. Last night he came to me, my lost love came in. So softly he came that his feet made no din. But when I awakened, I found it not so. My eyes like some fountain with tears overflowed. I once had a sweetheart, I loved him so well. I loved him far better than my tongue could tell. But he's gone, and he's left me in sorrow and tears. So adieu to you, sweetheart, for you are not here.